Have you ever had your helmet spun off by human level 105 and wondered, man, I really wish I had an easy way to record what just happened to me. That way I can send it over to the devs so they can do absolutely nothing about it? Well, the sponsor of today's video have something for you. With Outplayed by Overwolf, your gameplay is automatically recorded so you will never miss an awesome clip or funny death ever again. Choose whatever you want to be recorded, the options are flexible and game specific. It's got an in-house video editor so you can quickly edit gameplay, connections to all socials to easily share clips with your friends, and it works with a ton of games. Oh yeah, it's also completely free. Download Outplayed and help support my channel by using the link in the description below. So guys, I've been wanting to make this video for quite some time now. I'm sure you guys have already seen Hot or Rota's videos, and if you haven't, I'll link them in the description. But I wanted to make my own video and bring as much attention to these issues as possible and share my own thoughts. Fortunately, because of Hot and Rota's videos, Wildcard has taken some action. They recently disabled the tech railgun, which is a step in the right direction, but honestly, videos like these are long overdue. ARK 1 is on the back burner over at Studio Wildcard, considering ARK 2 isn't even that far away, and the sad reality is that there is probably nothing we can do to make Wildcard start caring about the official player base. I'm not making this video out of hatred for ARK or Studio Wildcard. I've been a huge fan of this game ever since I first downloaded it 5 years ago. I've spent almost 30k hours playing this game, which is honestly pretty sad to admit, but that's the truth, and I've mostly enjoyed my time on ARK. After 5 years of playing ARK pretty much every single day, I haven't opened ARK in the last 3 months. With the announcement of ARK 2, it's like the enforcement team over at Studio Wildcard just quit their jobs. Cheating on the official cluster is the worst I've ever seen it in my 5 years of playing, and it feels like there is absolutely zero developer support. I want to share with you guys a little story. Shortly after Genesis 2 released, many members from my Mega Tribe Sentinels that I did play with for over 3 years quit the game because it was just not fun anymore, so we decided that as a tribe we should merge into another. We ended up merging into a tribe called Nameless, and Nameless owned Center 708. Maybe 2 weeks into the merge, the owner account of our Center server was spoofed and we lost the server. I won't go into crazy detail over this because Rhoda already did in his video, so go check it out. But we lost the server, and the person who spoofed the owner account was able to just log into the account, kicked everyone, and invited his friends to go shop and take everything. I didn't make a video on this at the time because I couldn't prove what happened with someone spoofing and not just the owner giving his account away and insiding, but I 100% believe it was a spoof and not an inside. Anyways, the person who spoofed the owner account of our Center server actually live streamed himself on Twitch with the owner account, and this person is notorious for being a cheater and exploiter within ARK. If you watched the beginning of Rhoda's video, you would know that the same spoofing situation happened to another Mega Tribe on official PC very recently, and the same person who spoofed our owner account did the same thing to this Mega Tribe, and he also live streamed himself as well. Fortunately for this tribe, the ARK devs surprisingly rolled the servers back so they didn't lose anything, but I'm bringing this up just to spread as much awareness about this exploit as possible. This spoofing exploit isn't a one-off thing, and if it happened to me, it can definitely happen to you. So before I jump into what made ARK 1 so shit, I want to speak on what ARK has done right and something that I think they need to implement for ARK 2. For the Conquest/Classic servers, there's an official enforcement Discord where you, the player, can join it and actually talk to an enforcement developer and get responses from them real time. I almost creamed my pants when I read this in the community crunch that this would become a thing. I think we can all agree that Wildcard's ticket system is just so ass and unreliable. I'd bet most of us have experienced this. You submit a ticket, you get the same automated response, and you have your ticket solved just for those same cheaters that you reported to not even be banned. I've even tried to use my powers as one of the biggest ARK official YouTubers, not a flex, to get in contact with the devs so I wouldn't have to go through the dogshit ticket system, and I can't even get a response back. If the devs don't give enough of a shit to respond to me, then you know damn well they don't care enough to respond to you guys. If Wildcard could implement an official enforcement Discord for all official servers, I cannot tell you how many bases and helmets would be saved. Imagine if someone was aimbotting you out of your cave, and you could just add or DM an enforcement dev on Discord and get a real-time response. This alone would help significantly with the current cheating problems in ARK. I really hope Wildcard sees the value of having an easy way for players to get in contact with enforcement going forwards. Along with these enforcement Discords, I really want Wildcard to focus on punishing these cheater tribes and not just the cheater itself. Banning cheaters but not dev wiping the tribe of said cheaters isn't really solving much in my opinion. When Wildcard makes ARK a completely free game to download for 1 week, right as the new map Fjord releases so they can boost their numbers, it really shows me how little they think of the official cluster. By making ARK completely free, cheaters can stock up on these free accounts so banning one account isn't doing shit to stop them. Even if Wildcard didn't do these promotions, You can still buy ARK accounts for cheap if you know where to look. I promise you, the official cluster will clean itself up very quickly if they would just put some effort into enforcing and start going after the tribe, not just the cheater. The reward for having cheaters in your tribe and using cheats significantly outweighs the risk because the consequences for using these cheats are non-existent. If Wildcard would just implement a zero tolerance policy and dead wipe these tribes that blatantly and consistently cheat, we'd all be off for the better. Think about it. Tribes spend tens, if not hundreds of thousands of hours on one server alone. Would it really be worth putting all that on the line just to aimbot some griefers? Probably not. Banning accounts is pretty much a cat and mouse game. For every 10 cheater accounts you ban, another 100 will pop up. Dev wiping tribes for cheating seems like the easiest course of action to me. Since Wildcard's anti-cheat isn't where it needs to be, and since there is no active dev support that's policing the servers, there's no way Wildcard will win the account banning game. Granted, Wildcard has dev wiped some tribes in the past for cheating or using exploits, but it's always been super scuffed. Once every 4 to 6 months, they'll do a quote-unquote mass dev wipe of cheating tribes, and they will dev wipe like 20 to 30 servers. This isn't nearly good enough. Every single official tribe on ARK is cheating. I don't care what anyone says, this is the truth, and of course these tribes won't admit to that. But anyways, Wildcard dev wiping a handful of these tribes once every blue moon isn't doing anything to stop anyone. Meshing is another huge issue that's plagued ARK since its release. I know every single person who has played official has experienced being meshed at least once. The biggest problem with enforcing meshing is that it's very difficult to trace back who or what tribe is responsible for doing the mesh. Meshing will forever be a cat and mouse game for Wildcard because for every single mesh method they patch, another one becomes available to the public. Wildcard, you will never be able to patch every single mesh hole. Meshing will always be a problem in this game, but Wildcard, you could help your community out tremendously if us players could have an easy way to get in contact with the enforcement devs. That way, if we're being meshed, we could reach out to the dev and get the mesher banned real time. I truly wonder how Wildcard can make an easy way for the players to get in contact with the enforcement devs. Duping is another huge problem in ARK. This issue being a very difficult one for Wildcard to fix, because tribes with dupe methods don't just use those dupe methods on their own servers. They will set up dupe bases hidden or in the mesh on dead servers, use said dupe methods, and then transfer the dupe loot to their own servers. How you fix this, you might ask? Well, it's complicated. So, Wildcard has the ability to see every single item that a tribe has on a given server. I don't think I've ever mentioned this on my channel, but a few years ago when my tribe sentinels owned a Scorched Earth server, we got meshed a few times and lost our main loot room. We sent tickets to the devs with video and photo proof of the meshers, and after a few hours, we finally got a dev on server. This enforcement dev actually sent my tribe leader Pleb an invite to a Discord that had not only the enforcement team in it, but leaders of other official mega tribes. Pleb was reading through this Discord, and the enforcement dev said they know exactly how much of any resource or structure a tribe has on any given server. One of the devs even stated he knew exactly how many med brews a mega tribe had on one of their main servers. With this information available to them, it shouldn't be hard for the devs to be able to look at dead servers and see how much loot is on them. If there's a Ragnarok server that sits at 0 pop for 90% of the time, but the devs can see there's daddies of C4, structures, etc. on the server, then that should be a red flag and an investigation should be done. I'm sure the developers have more resources to help them with these investigations, but they just don't give enough of a fuck to do them. I don't want to ramble on for too much longer, so I'm gonna stop it here. Really, all these problems I just mentioned can be solved the same way: better developer support. The official player base has been asking for this since the start of time, and it's never came. I didn't even talk about the current PvP meta and why, in my opinion, this game has gone downhill ever since the release of Extinction. Maybe in another video, I'll share my thoughts on where ARK went wrong with the PvP meta, but for this video, I only wanted to talk about the cheating and what I think the devs should do to help improve the current situation. Anyways, I appreciate all of you guys for listening to my rant to the end, and let's just all hope and pray that ARK 2 will have the enforcement team we not only deserve, but need.